Thekio ne muthenya ungi murathime ino tabarira itu ya kimuri mothe ndikina mageni muthuri tonda kimwanire kwina marori maingi makuite ikingi maburu marakima guko ngukora gikwira mageni wakwa muthenya wa umothe kiugo kia mwathani thimo 11 kamahariga 3 thimo 11 3 iroiga mwathani ndangireka mundu muthingu ahute indi uria mwaganu ndari kindu agiona nikiugo kia mwathani ndangireka mundu muthingu ahute indi uria mwaganu ndari kindu agiona granyita ugeni PS Alex Wachira newe PS ndona nyandikirwo haha Ũgai na ũtambia wa thitima bũrũri-inĩ no ni PS ohoro igi thitima karibu sana PS
Thengio muno mundu gwitwo Ndito Ihura wa mbere na Raw Media wa mbere ndu wa ukiha kanya gaka njuke twarie ici cia Ũgai na ũtambia wa thitima wa keri na ndikiwe kani ukugeithirie andu agakanga wokira
andu agakanga majerire ngugeithia muno na majira atiriri ati ona utanageithania hari hambare mwigucia na hau ri hau ndo hotigiti itura riu hau ndo hotu hatigaire gathitima
ndui
riu ngikwirire
ndaingira oguo ri ndatuka PS wa thitima one of the first projects that bile gwika ni hau hanyu
mucie
gakanga riu angikohe handu hatigarite ri ngoicirie no igua president athi handu akauga na kwa awamu ya pili itariu enyiri araugire awamu ya pili netia ni auga tuheane 600 million shillings ya last mile riu bare ya mwigucia ri hau ni tukumarora hari macio matandatu ri thitima yao ni guka
niguo ukameraga riu makariagira currency yako
makariagira currency ukamenya atiri na nikio kwiragwo mwakenagira mwina gitonga muci itura wakenagira because ni wahota ku influence adu eri atatu if code wari haha kadia kuiri no kona gakanga bado igiri na thitima no ni undu wa ni ndirakumenya ni wadirikani hey PS gathitima PS gathitima tariu wona hena mundu witawo githingiria githingiria hari hao tutie turahutia thitima nitwikirite huho-ini tuwekira mbogo-ini na mbogo-ini B turekira huho-ini twekire gacaki hau geta all that is in Kabaru ward for example
kura Kabaru na nginya ndathi
na ndathi no he gacagi githingiria umite na no adikiriria hoguo kandikiriria yogithekagia ndo kanjira PS uririkane gicagi tuti nita mutumia ongo wetagwo wa Njogu uri hari handu hetagwo mukuringano-ini nake atindaga thimu-ini haha uguo kinjira PS uririkane ngamera horera uguo reke turikie what we are doing now muraiguire president ayudino arinyire auga aina 847 million shillings cia gwikira thitima thiino wa gicigo kia Nyeri kengwire mundu gwitwo Ndito Ihura twina projects ithatu irathi na mbere in the country. Number 1 arenya mwitagwo AFD, that's the French EU EIB funded last mile iyo turenda kunyitithania andu 280,000 households timodo households
so dona haha riri AFD
yes
EU
EIB
yes nene ndo icio
AFD is a French development bank.
Okay.
EU is a European Union and EIB is a European Investment Bank.
Okay.
Ni matuhete muigana wa 222 billion shillings turi thirikari ya Kenya tugakomba tuhamwe nigetha twike kindu gitagwo last mile na nicio naga it is going to cover the 280,000 households na ni ra cover 32 counties of the Republic of Kenya. Nikio na o hard president ya thiire ni ra flag off thitima because there is that program that is covering 32 counties
out of 47
ndenda ukoni uria thitima to balance ite bururi nweka 32 no andika hau uguo
ndandika 32 ndatikia out of 47 iri ndatikaria kini 8 plus 7 ndatikaria 15
watigia 15 ukahandu hetagwo JICA JICA gave us a grant.
Now JICA ne
Japan.
Ni
Japan. They gave us a grant. Magitweda twenda kumuhe adu wa Kenya twenda kumuhe grant ya 1.9 billion shillings. no magitwira mugwikira thitima 4 counties iria twina interest turi andu a Japan. So interest haria taru kodo gwitagwo all carrier those turbines cia geothermal they are mainly Toshiba and they are mainly Toshiba machines, so they are basically Japanese. Even Taduntreka all carrier 7 15 billion shillings to Hetoni Jaika. So they have been funding development of geothermal.
So ichi 4 counties
magitwira hari county isinya ne iria twina interest. So number 1 was Nakuru because of geothermal. Then now no do na Ikuru re mai ma na Ikuru momako Nyandarua. So those are the 2 counties in the Raja Mount Kenya. Magitwira Korea Dongo Kundu, we have serious interest in development of Dongo Kundu. As a matter of fact, kuma hadu hetagwo Mariakani guthie Dongo Kundu, umenya ntwakire line kuma Olkaria through Suswa through Isinya to Mariakani, a 400 kV line. They push a lot of power to the coast. Realize that Kenya, we only generate power from the hydros, which are in eastern part of Kenya. Na mweno yogi wa Rift Valley, mweno wa geothermal. Mobada na niyo second biggest load center daily generation. Na nikio wonaga nyamu isi tuitaga diesel power plants. Nyigire Mobada. Kipevu 1, Kipevu 2 onao kontra litaire, Kipevu 3 na Rabai. Si mweno wa Mobada. So that utadu oriora push power hadu haraihu no go voltage issues shokaga. So now to kugireria voltage issues ni hogo ni thirikari yaka those 4 power plants ili Mobada. So now we have done a line kuma Olkaria through Suswa through Isinya to Mombasa, a 400 kV line.
Yes.
Negata Dongo Kundu, the industrial park, it take effect today. The Japanese have also funded us a 220 kV line, which we have already advertised, and the bids are closing. Actually, the bids closed last month, 31st March. Negata tuwake a line kuma Mariakani guthie Dongo Kundu. Negata Dongo Kundu do we tweke a full industrial. So makitwira atiriri tadu tuna interest Dongo Kundu. Kilifi and Kwale comes in.
Tuogerere Kwale
na Kilifi. Nuona. Then ogeririkana
11.
Twatigaria 11. Ogeririkana kodo gwitagwo about 19th, if I'm not wrong, 19th of February. Hena nyamu itagwo COSAP present ara officiated signing. Yeah, your COSAP is Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Program. Hari counties 14 that make up 72% land size ya Kenya. Ile Korea. Ukinyia grid ko it is too expensive. So then now we have come up with a program itago Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Program. Uga gate turenda gwaka mini grids. Teru hari hanyu gakaga ko grid ile hai hutuge ile handu ta Nanyuki for example. Kana ile handu ta mbere ya Nyahururu. Kugucia line kuma Nyahururu kurehe gakaga it is too expensive.
Kana kuma Moiga.
Muigane hakui. Yeah, Muigane hakui. No. So those counties, the 14 counties that I'm talking about, Radio Horoa, West Pokot, Turkana, Marsabit, Isiolo, Samburu, Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Lamu, Tana River, Kilifi, Kwale, Taita Taveta, and Narok. Those 14 counties, kukinyia grid or hadu is too expensive for the government. So kile utureka leo ni gwaka nyamu turetaga mini grids. Mini grids tumiyaka gate ugathondeka solar plants. Ugaciikira kindu gitagwo battery energy storage. Ugacoka ukagucia LV network, high V network around that town. Negeda mwaki wa hau gekate. It is what we have done in areas like Faza, even though it has a diesel generator. Kakuma is also a mini grid. Lodway is still a mini grid as it is. No nitwagushira in the haugu. So now that covers the 14 counties.
Yes.
Kenya ni adira. Because we have we have that 2, we have 4, and we have 14. Though some counties are benefiting. Tadu AFDEU, the Nyandarua Nakuru, they are still benefiting in AFDEU and they are benefiting in JICA. So we have covered the entire country. Actually, the only place
distribution
rĩu nĩ distribution ya last mile. Actually the only counties rĩu itarĩ na AFD EU ni Nairobi, Kiambu na Mombasa. And Mombasa and Nairobi, in terms of coverage, mena coverage in muno. In terms of coverage, they are close to about 98%. The only headache ya Nairobi is the issue of slums.
Na uishi wa thitima.
Slums, Nairobi as it is almost 100% other than the slums. Rĩu tũrageria rĩu gwetha mbeca ũrĩa tũkũhota gwĩkĩra thitima in the slums. No ũmenye nĩ kũrĩ andũ maingĩ mũno arĩa mararia rũthiomi rũrũ tũraria niĩ nawe aitũ marĩ Nairobi na marĩ vitongoji duni. Nĩ ũndũ twenda rĩu kwambĩrĩria kũmakava as because our dream and aspiration nĩgetha nĩ tũkinyie 100% connectivity by the year 2030. So program yo rĩu ndagũtarĩria JICA nĩ gũtũhe about 20,000 households, 280 ikuma harĩ EU EIB. Those are 300,000 households hamwe. Then rĩu harĩ handũ ũraiguire president auga awamu ya pili. Awamu ya pili, we have already negotiated with African Development Bank 12.8 billion shillings. EFD. And today's paper, you will see KPLC has advertised for consultants. Consultants rĩu arĩa magũka nĩgetha mahote gwĩkĩra mahote gwĩka atĩ mahote consultants arĩa rĩu mako design this program for AFDB3. We anticipate to start rolling out in November this year. Program icio igĩrĩ ndakwĩra ũhoro wacio tũracirĩkia kĩrĩa November this year. No ririkane what you saw the president do when he was mostly in gũkũ gwitũ kĩrĩma. No ni akiflag of toira ikipia harĩa handũ hetagwo hena primary school twathire etagwo Ngarachi. Nia flag of last man.
Ngarachi ya Laikipia West.
Laikipia West. O Kanyiri kũrĩa kũndũ gwĩtagwo Mwĩcwĩri nia flag of last man. Athi Nyandarua Olkarau aki flag of last mile. Athi Meru kũrĩa gwĩtagwo Nkwene substation ara flag of last mile. Tharaka-Nithi ndana flag of last mile because the previous visit twari nake Tharaka-Nithi ni flag of last mile ya Tharaka-Nithi. Nikĩro ni Tharaka-Nithi yarũgĩrĩrio. Twathiĩ Ebu haria Ebu ESP market he flagged of last mile. Toma Ebu haha Kĩrĩnyaga Kagio he flagged of last mile. Ino rĩu ndĩraria ũhoro wayo. Wathiĩ kũndũ gwĩtagwo Murang'a haria Makuyu he flagged of last mile. Nĩ handatigia idia thiũrũka kĩrĩma gĩothe.
Ndaigua ta kĩrĩma ta wathiũrũrũka.
Ĩni tondũ rĩu harĩa tũtigĩtie no gũthiĩ Naikuru. As a matter of fact no ngĩhũrĩra andũ a Nyandarua. JICA nĩ magũkwĩra all the JICA projects that we are talking about the poles are erected.
Ta njĩra atĩrĩrĩ ndũĩ nĩwari ũhoro wĩgiĩ Gĩkũyũ nĩ tondũ ũrakĩaria Gĩkũyũ Wachira.
Ĩni
na ona maranjĩrĩte kana kwĩna mũbango tũgũcoka tũcoke gũkũ kĩrĩma-inĩ rĩ rĩu andũ marauga ta thiũria Wachira no marori tũrona hau na ikĩngĩ na ikĩngĩ ironeka tarĩ imwe icio nĩ tũgũka nago Agĩkũyũ arĩa nao makĩte mũhurunjũko rĩ ndaigua ta watarĩria harĩ projects ici ingĩ ciothe thĩinĩ wa counties ciao. Ndero ta kwĩna season 2 ya president gũcera kũu kũngĩ nja wa kĩrĩma no ũgakorwo wĩ involved.
Ĩndia gũtarĩra Kenya ĩrĩ ng'ima. Ndakuonia for example how AFD EU ira cover 32 counties.
Yes.
Uguo kũrĩa guo the president agũthiĩ no nginya wone thitima. We have already flagged off in Western Kenya during his last trip. Twathiũrũrũkire the 4 counties here Western Kenya. Vihiga, Kakamega, kũndũ gwĩtwo Busia na Bungoma. We also flagged off in Uasin Gishu. Kũrĩa tutaflagged off nĩ kũndũ gwĩtagwo Trans Nzoia. Kũndũ tutia flagged off. So we still have Trans Nzoia to go. Nyanza, the 4 counties of Nyanza, we are yet to flag off. But the projects are ongoing. Most of these projects, iria nyingi imwe ile in design stage, ile in well leave acquisition, but from June, because easy projects ile na kĩndũ gĩtagwo turnkey contractors. Turnkey contractor ni kuga mũndũ tandĩtwo ihũra ena kambuni amĩte, for example, let me just pick kambuni ĩtagwo Power China Hubei. Power China Hubei irakava county ya Nyandarua, Laikipia, Nyeri, Meru, Tharaka Nithi. Hari kambuni igitagwo East India Udong irakava county ya Kitui, Embu, Kirinyaga and Murang'a. Remember, Nyamundo data ya EU EIB, the 22 billion. The lots were divided, 32 counties. The lots were divided into 26 lots. The successful contractors were 21. Meaning there is a contractor who is covering more than.
Kutuka successful contractor ni
kutuka ni kugati really where bid yaku ni yetikira ni ya win both the technical and the financial.
Ni maso
area we know. Na nikiona most of these contractors, we have very few that are Kenyan contractors. For example, Merwood. Harikabuni eo Merwood ira cover kodu gitagwo Ebu, Kirinyaga, Tharaka Nithi na Meru. Meitaga Merwood. Hari gitagwo Elemek ira cover Nyandarua, Nakuru, Laikipia, Nyeri. Because the funding of this project is three funders. AFD, EU, EIB.
So no.
By the time you are awarding, no ginya mage ko yakidu gitako concurrence.
Concurrence neke?
Concurrence ne kugatiri ni to evaluate bids yothe na tuona mundu gwitwo Deitwa Ihura na kambuni itago Elmec nayo acida. Tuka submit those tender documents. Hari European Union, hari Africa French Development Bank na hari EU. Kamera oyu no acida ni do itumi 1 2 3. And remember ado ani makoragwo bado na consultants.
No meka due diligence you now.
You cannot award dogi award atari the funder atari arakwira I don't have an objection.
No ginya biasi yake menye
no ginya amenye biasi yake no iratumirwo atia na the process ya no yedwa ni marwa na ugumania muno. The west. So the process go there. No ginya matigirire ni gatuika followed by the time you're getting to the award. Na ni honaga ni turikagie tender evaluation tugaikara mieri igena. Tweterire no objection kuma hari fund.
Tatwireterere Wachira. Rĩrĩa urauga ko flag off ni kuga ati tondu hari maruga ati hey ithu no maturera turona guko na itingi cia thitima.
Ko flag off ni kuga ati
irari tari symbol kana ni hard already.
Irari ndakwira ati riu jaikare we already have poles erected on the ground. The contractor who is a Japanese contractor ni materials yake arakria port the wire na kire because poles aragorire guku no wire aragiraja na
transformers mukitete wakonta ikenge mukugora guku mutigukira ikenge kuma naja
ndukugira ikenge kumaja
tukwiraga shainere ha ginya
aza tukwiraga ikenge ugure guku. We try as much as possible ginya some of the steel components steel rods nyamuta isi wonaga twitaga steel blocks isi ya concrete isi twitaga
kugana subcontractors
bolts lu conductors nisio turona kaigire umakigiraja makauga our local manufacturers mena goro hari price ya conductor so maga prefer kugira kwao. So ugukora now for example the JICA funded project kiria conductors ni unisio twetereire ikinya guku but ikigesio the Nyandarua na Ikuru neno gamie
icio turonaga ri nicio ruga nicio irahando
icio ronaga ri gutire project uronire gikingi kio master gitrathiaga site kirathiaga specific actually even on a presentation ile turekagira mutongoria wa bũrũri President William Ruto ndwamo ya ikigici wa flag of wa flag of the entire scope ya county hiyo. For example no kuga Murang'a it was about 1.2 billion worth of projects no ikigici oya isi wona cia flag of na transport cia gicagi fulani okone Kirinyaga it was worth projects worth 500 million shillings. Meru 1.757 worth of projects. Uririkane what makes now the 1.7 billion idio igua president yake announce ni nyamuindo dakwira AFD EU kure kungi kwina GOK ya REREC na kwina GOK ya KPLC. It sums up the amount. Okoni tanyiri kure gwitu irari 847 million shillings. Of the 847 million shillings, EU EIB contracts here on worth 447 million. Ishige ni cia REREC na KPLC. And on the ground, taru ona Bũrũri-inĩ, there are so many projects that are going on cia thitima. In fact, most are in metering stage. Tetu, the same. Yes. Kieni, the same. So, electricity iravie. Wikidia today. DPR hado hetago agodi. Dari kudu witago mwishwiri. As a matter of fact, utawata kuhusu president yorege. Ise onyere ino itu.
How kana
ona dakiri ka sade service edarasha no gitu ile hare to ka sade service kagima
hari kandu wagweta riri REREC tera ndo itu atiriri REREC ni ndo
REREC ri ni kabuni itagwo Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation ni component ni kabuni iyo ni to 100% ni thirikari ya Kenya.
Iri ada
Ministry of Energy, State Department for Energy. Ugirora Kenya Kwanza manifesto modo wetu deitwa ihura. President akiaririria horo wa revitalizing Kenya Power. Augire one of his key projects ni go turn KPLC to profitability and to make KPLC a commercial entity.
Yes.
Kaudu kauni higeti.
Higeti todo ndakoro dona hahariri atita Kenya Power mara post the profit.
Exactly. 32 billion profit.
So much you how mara hotie gutana around nike.
Nido maudu mere. Maudu ma?
Mere.
Number one, remember before the 2022 elections, most of the things were on subsidy. Thitima was 15% subsidized. Meaning part of your taxes had to cater for the costs of electricity.
Yes.
Bebe, you had subsidized. True or not true?
True.
Maguta, mari subsidized. Akiuga, tutigo subsidize consumption. Let us subsidize production. Na niho fatara ide ekiriate.
Okay.
Yokeire. The fact that we are no longer subsidizing the costs of electricity, which means the cost of the generator, the cost of the transmitter, and the cost of the distributor are well taken care of. That helps. Number two, and most important, stability of the currency. Out of the blues, what is the exchange rate here, USD?
I think 129.
Exactly. 2 years ago,
169, 170.
It was varying.
Fluctuation.
But today you can predict and say, at least in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I am certainly there is nothing that may affect our currency. To rather, 129, 130. 129, 130. Those two things, because remember, our PPAs, modo witode itwa ihura. Nodo wa financing ya PPAs ito. Nodo wa financing ya gwaka power projects. Because pockets ito itire irarika as a country. And that is why we must have a saving culture as a country. Negada fegisi ito sigehie liquidity ile siye nayo. Both even on retirement benefit schemes.
Yes.
No, NSSF. The moment to kuhota empower NSSF ikona bia nyige ilisi to see retirement. It depends the pockets here banks. And so therefore now our banks can be able to fund power projects because power projects are very expensive. And they require to be funded.
NSSF no mukobera hali projects cia Kenya Power. Hadu koba kuma faraja.
Hadu koba kuma faraja. Ko pockets ya modu ta NSSF ne ditu koigana. Then our power projects can be financed in Kenya currency. That way now you can convert our PPAs to Kenya shilling denominated PPAs. In Africa, Modogo to South Africa, they have gone that way. In fact, Hari plant hitago Socian, it has been funded by Development Bank of South Africa and Stanbic Bank.
Stanbic ino
Onaga, it is huge.
Tajirate riri. Todo iduna ni donaga tunoti netwakwa. Hatuka half year ending December 31st, 2024. Kenya Power kuria biori. Announced a net profit ya 9.97 billion. Significant increase ya 319 million. Igachoko gaikuruko uguo gona ta ati mwathondeka kanyamu Kengen. Batuika substantial rise pre-tax profits ya havia ya 7.95 billion up to kido 4.83 billion. Ukai despite una korokwa ina 4% decline ya 27.5 billion. Ni utajira atiriri kuroka atia no kona ginya Kenya pipeline ciothe ndaro gonata irathondeka mbeca. Riu andu makoria atiriri Kenya Power ni batio ukore githondeka mbeca, Kenya ni batio ukore githondeka mbeca, pipeline ni githondeka mbeca kana ibatio ukoro ciri utungata wa muingi. To ndiracio na ha ciothe Kenya Power, Kengen, Kenya Pipeline, Kenya Airways, atio Kenya Airways ndiramiona ha ciothe. Riu andu makoria atiriri to ni honge cia thirikari wa cira ri itibati gukorwo ikiruta utungata handu ha guthondeka faita.
Mundu tofati guthondeka faida ni mundu witagwo REREC, Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation. Na ni hoda kwira ungirora Kenya Kwanza manifesto area president Ruto alire agi campaign now ni augire I want to turn Kenya Power into profitability. So I'll do REREC ekuruta wira wa the social component. What is the social component? Social component iko eriri kugucia to the thitima icio cia last mile kure kuraihu makiria
cia kwa mwigu
ikaruta. You know why?
You
know why REREC is doing that, and why now we are talking of the commercial aspect. Tell an industry igiakwo tutiraga REREC athie kanyitithanie thitima hau. That is a commercial enterprise. Because ocean mundu kwambiria go consume muingi muno, which now requires the muscle ya KPLC. Muscle ya REREC irendeka kugucia waya line kilomita 5. Na hindi yo wathie gusavu andu 3,000 ka 300 na andu consumption yao ri kiganda kimwe ri ni kiriga ina go consume thitima ya andu.
Kogo distinction ya REREC na Kenya Power na Kengen niki?
Kengen is a generator.
Nio marutaga
nio mathondekaga thitima. So we have Kengen and GDC magithondeka thitima, and also IPPs the independent power producers. Kengen, as it is now, it is producing 67% of our Kenya's energy needs. That 3% irathondekwo ni private parties. Iyo ni ya mbere. Number 2, warikia ku generate thitima ni honaga waya ndaihu.
Iyo ni the grid.
Iyo ni transmission, because you generate power kuma Olkaria, or generate power kuma Menengai. Wa generate power
na Turukana
ugucie na raini ndaihu nigethe kuwe mwaki muingi u deliver to the load center, you build a substation.
Okay.
Then it will be to distribute what we call now the last mile to the consumer. Now get your transmission. We only have one transmission company in Kenya. Itagwo Ketraco. Na Ketraco mundu gwitode hitwa ihura niwe rari na projects ya Adani.
But the Adani amarioku
na Adani
no kagirako
Adani mundu gwitode hitwa ihura kwiragwo mundu toy Kenyans celebrated Adani yago. Actually andu aria amwe ma celebrate ne andu aria twari nao ruthio miruru ma celebrate muno. What they do not know is what Adani was coming to bring to the people of Central Kenya. And I want to tell you how. President niya akirie muthenya umwe akihurira kijira atiriri PSA I know you have a long list of transmission lines. Netandu nituremetwo ni gukomba gwaka transmission lines ciakitwo Ketraco hindi ya thondekirwo we only had 3,000 kilometers cia transmission lines. By this year December we had built 9,900 kilometers of transmission lines. ici tuongereire 6,900 twakite na thirĩ kuma China Exim Bank, India Exim Bank, African Development Bank, mathirĩ. Na tandũ bũrũri ũkinyĩte handũ ũtangĩhota gũkomba rĩ, akĩnjĩra rĩu rĩ, we have investors who want to do on PPP. Na ũngĩrora kũndũ ta India, ũngĩrora America, most of the transmission lines are being run by private parties. Nĩgetha thirikari ĩkaremwo ĩgatiga gũtinda ĩgĩkomba, ĩgakomba nĩgetha ĩrute wĩra ũyũ wa last mile. Because gũtirĩ mũndũ ũngĩaka last mile na PPP. Tandũ ndũrĩ guaranteed ya return mwena ũrĩa ũngĩ. No transmission line rĩ, nĩ ũgũkomba na wake. Now, ngĩmũhe raini ithatũ. Raini imwe tũmĩtaga Gilgil. Ũngĩrora hĩndĩ ĩrĩa ũrahĩtũka harĩa Girigiri ũthiĩte, ũkĩingĩra Girigiri actually. Ũkĩingĩra Naivasha sorry. Harĩ raini ĩrĩa ngũrũ ĩkoragwo ĩ mwena wa rũgongo ya area yumĩte Uganda. Jinja ĩgoka haha Dandora. Gĩcoke kĩgucio nĩ mũthũngũ ĩkĩikũrũka nginya Mombatha. Harĩ raini ĩyo. Then he raini ĩngĩ njerũ tũrakire hau ũguo. A big line. Ũkĩingĩra Naivasha ũguo. Na rĩu ũthiĩ ũkĩmĩ criss crossaga ũrĩa ũrathiĩ towards Western Kenya. Tumĩtaga Olkaria Lesos Kisumu. Is a 400 kV line. Twenda agwĩka substation hau handũ heta Girigiri. Twake substation ĩngĩ haha Thĩka. Na nikionaga harĩa ũkĩingĩra Thĩka nĩ ũkoraga diesel power plant on this side. Ũkĩingĩra Thĩka.
Haha wĩteithie.
Wĩteithie. Ũngĩkona handũ hena diesel power plant, ũmenye handũ hau nĩ harĩ thĩna wake. It is an IPP.
Power purchasing na nĩ other power purchasing agreement.
Nĩ PPA ya diesel. Ũngĩkona handũ hothe hena diesel power plant, ũkamenya handũ hau rĩ, mwaki ndũkinyaga ũrĩa wa kũiga.
Tikĩrĩa.
No.
Magetha gĩa kũrĩa.
Aca, ndũngĩkĩra handũ hena, rĩu ndũngĩtwara diesel power plant ũmĩtwara Olkaria. Wamĩtwarĩra ũ?
Atiriri concessions ici wacira ri Alex ri. Yes.
Itana ndenda gũtwara kahora. Rĩu Gilgil tugucie raini yo hau kuma hau. Thĩka toke substation na tuongerere mwaki hau. Mara nĩ haha kĩrĩa yuke enyitithani na Konza. We have already done a line area gwithire kuma Olkaria through Suswa Isinya to Konza. Rĩu tũrenda gũthondeka the bigger 400 kV ring ya Nairobi. But in the process they keteithe kire handũ harĩkũ
au
no
nĩ mũkũritae rĩu
nĩrĩkũ PPA on up to 2035. So especially to girakire substation hiyo ri it means the dispatch ya that diesel power plant reduces because now you have sorted the issue of power stability there. Now line ya keri 3 weeks ago hĩndĩ ĩrĩa twekaga maintenance ya line kuma Masinga gũthiĩ Nanyuki, hena line imwe tu ĩcevaga area itu imĩte Masinga ĩgathiĩ Kĩrũgũya ĩgoka Karatina ĩgoka haha Kĩganjo ĩgathiĩ Nanyuki, gũtirĩ line ingĩ big transmission. So when there is a breakdown on that line, the entire that region no nginya mũmĩhorerie thitima.
Nĩkĩo thitima tuuraga ciehora
no nginya ona kawaya kamotu kangĩtuĩka kĩrĩma mwena ũcio because there is no alternative evacuation line. Munene akĩnjũrie ngĩmwĩra line ya kerĩ tũgwaka rĩ nĩ tũrambĩrĩirie ku generate mwaki kuma Menengai. Reke twake line kuma Menengai through Olkalau Nyandarua yothe ndĩrĩ substation. As a matter of fact mwaki wothe wa Nyandarua umaga either Naivasha Girigiri kana Lanet. Nyandarua yothe ndĩrĩ, Laikipia yothe ndĩrĩ. So that is why mũndũ ũrĩ Murutu hĩndĩ ciothe thitima yake nĩ kũra yũraga. So twake line kuma Menengai twake substation Olkalau tukĩra Muruti. Nĩ hĩndĩ tũrarĩkia gwaka line kuma Nanyuki gũthiĩ Muruti. So what would have that meant? That in the event kwĩna breakdown ya mwaki haha Kĩrũgũya, mwaki nĩ kuma Menengai ũke Olkalau ũke Muruti ũke Nanyuki ũserve part ya Nyĩrĩ. Wanyita. So to nginya atĩ tandũ nĩtũreka maintenance line ya Masinga ati no nginya Nyĩrĩ ĩhorio kana Laikipia Nanyuki kana Muruti no nginya line ĩhore. Acha. Then nĩtwaka line kuma twarĩkia line ya kuma Nanyuki gũthiĩ Isiolo. Again 2 weeks ago andũ a Meru maina power outage. Nĩkĩ nĩ ũndũ wa line kuma Kamburu guthii iciara irage na breakdown. So we wanted to bring a ring ati ni kuga ona Meru kungigia issue ya mwaki iri mwaki uri umite Kamburu, ona kungigia issue ya mwaki ni uguflow kuma Menengai uke Rumuru uke Nanyukie uthie Isiolo ucoke Meru. Nwanyita na ona twarikia that ring Meru kungikona issue mwaki ni uguflow the other way ume Masinga uke Kiganjo uthie Nanyukie uthie Meru. That was the essence of
how no Adani okagira
na reni iri engi ni ngituka kuma Rongai Keringet to Chemosit nigetha tunyihie karupo gakorwo kuma between Kisumu and Muhoroni. Project irie nyingi cia Adani cioka guteithia kirima.
Riu ni gwakwa Wachira.
We have to get another
Adani,
another company ingihota ina capacity tadu the borrowing
so capacity ni ki
financial muscle capacity
yari ki. What was the agreement?
You see project issues you that tugia kare they were costing us 100 billion shillings.
Why Adani mwakameta mwetekerete Adani niki?
Because he's an investor who expressed it a privately initiated projects. He initiated the projects.
Ari atia
aheago kindu gitagwo transmission service agreement. Ukauga every electron iraflow aririhagia kanyamukani
kanene
like 10 cents.
How they do the billing?
Hali billing. But you see, it's a billing that is being absorbed by everybody else. So you don't feel it. But in the process, you have built a line. That is what
so koro project yo ne hathira na mbere ri. But they no cio ugethira mwaka uyu.
Private companies work faster than government projects. So the implementation turnaround time ya Adani gire daisi magire on the ground kurigana ore project agreement yari
no
magirira ini riu ni line magraka by December mwaka uyu ni marari kagira ini icio
tajirate riri Wachira na mwaremirwo kwira andu uguo niki watariria totiga ni undu twakuhe mweke waria ri ndui andu meciragia ati Adani tu no carbon oro uguo yokora
ugwikaga
na muno kuri kirima
gwikaga atiriri and is a problem that we have as a country. Umawira go umongigokira
maheni makijirete
gukira kumoriri umongigokira kumoriri wihumbe maheni mathirukite the maita
matarata
magithiuruka oguo. So ona riu umongigokira ri already andu ni metikirie kire metikirie. So it becomes a challenge. Tuwekite nginya kindu gitagwo public participation, stakeholders engagement. Tado nyamu icio ngioka gututeithia muno, but we are not
so tatwire kwina mwihoko to nyonaga rimwe thitima ni ciora ta kuna hindi ciorite Kenya yothe
tano hindi ile ciorite Kenya yothe
ciorite niki bururi ta
let me give you the latest igiocorera tigano riu muthikiriria ndangihota kuona kire ndagucorera ri ndakwira mwaki wa Kenya ugiflow nginya Nairobi uri na path o imwetu ukima haria ukaria ri uroka handu hetagwo Suswa wakinya Suswa ukanyitana na mwaki uria wauma Ethiopia na mwaki uria wauma Lake Turkana
ucio tuguraga kuma Ethiopia
ntugura mwaki 200 megawatts kuma Ethiopia ugatukana ukaumana one route ugithie Nairobi ugathie through karaini kanini twitaga Nairobi North Line na ugathie Isinya line ino ndakwira Isinya no turakire ka substation ha Kimuka uguru twina shorter pathway. Now ugigia chok haha Suswa mwaki ucio nduri any other route ya go flow to the load center ya Nairobi na niho line ino ndakwira kone twakire line ino ya Girigiri Thika Mara Konza mwaki ucio ona uri muingi uguo ni ukwota ko flow to Nairobi through this route ya Girigiri Thika Mara Konza. Riu hindi yori haha haina breaker cia kuire haha Suswa
ota breaker cia nyomba
they broke. So the power did not have any other evacuation route. Remember tado breaker ni cia kuari load ni anyiha dinanyiha
iguthie nako
road mwaki bururi no uretia no route hatiri mwaki flow ya kũrĩra. So that now led to the cascade of events that give us the national blackout.
Ino era guhoro igiturukana niki?
Iyo nayo igiturukana ri. What had happened? Yari at that point, I remember it was in August. Lake Turkana gives us about 310 megawatts. Our total build capacity as a country is 3,000 megawatts. Meaning, at one point, Lake Turkana get to more than 10% of our power needs. Here 3,000, you have pushed in all the diesel generators, kuna solar, na kuna wind. Now, kware huaini hidio. So solar was out. We have about 250 megawatts here solar. So the country at that time, its peak demand had about 2,000 megawatts. Na Turkana hidio ya pushaga 274 megawatts. Ike break, ike herera. Ye ran to the grid. You know, you have lost more than, at that time we calculated we had lost more than 15% of the generation. More than 15. So you either load shed, na ihenya mono, system load shed, load shed in kuga, ehori ado blackout siya na ihenya, negeda the generation na demand is isemanie. But if the quarter load shed, by the balancing power is a very technical thing. Because you must always balance the load and the generation. No ginyoshi balance. Nita uitwarithia gari kirimaini na ni ya kirasi. Maguta kirasi no ginyo balance, otherwise gari yone kuhora. It is the same thing.
Tajirate PSRX.
Yes.
Tarukura tuikaraga ri ni nyona kindu themwe ri. Themwe oguo. Ta kuraga thitima na igacoka na itininaga kindu second kindu 10 kana 20 ngeroga ni change over ni ndu iyo niki kiugikorgeria na mbere
ikogo riri hari nyamu twitaga N-1 and then hori udakwira in our transmission network we are lacking N-1. N-1 gives us what we call redundancy nikuga atiriri taru hari oikaraga ri ni hakorwo na line igiri ira supply mwaki from 2 different substations such that should this line iko ina thina ri ni ukota go change over urehe mwaki kuma mwena uriku
mwana onge
nigetha customer udageke ate
ndakaga mwaki
no that interchange ni tumaga ri wone thitima ni wana ni eka ni asoka but most of the power blackouts ile to experience they know afro dio ito wa Kenya ndio onire hidege Kenya power irarengaga miti na andu makaugireria muno
koja kwaira
no hidiria yarenga miti ukaigua andu maikaikara ndui Kenyans tu oposaga maundu mothe ukaigua andu mauga lakini siku hizi stima haipotei tadu ntwakiria we live actually 60% of our power blackouts ikoragwo ile issues ya miti kugwira
miti yaga kurengwo niki yothe
twarenga muno ri wajikwa kaugireria no ginya to balance.
Okay. Kiuria kingi kirogio ni hani riri. Hindi mutu kiona ginya ya point ito waciraga mwaki. Aru makiuga he ne indo ikoda utonyio. Niki gathite na mbere airport.
Ado itu ni makona theories nyingi muno.
The conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theories tukorogo turia cori ithuothe. And you know world ranking idhu na be mogotumira internet in the world. We are spending about 3 hours on phone in the internet. 3 hours to Kenyans. TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Awogu. Nikiona aginya maheni magithina ihenya muno Kenya. Tadu utwitaga ona mbere ya mundu oretie nikiri umiona hi ikabe guthina mbere. Now what had happened hidi ya blackout ni ati kiriari airport ni generators yayo huge generators no but ndia koretwo hidi cia install and the process ya installation ndia koretwo ya reka na now the changeover system igekate so hidi ya kwagire national outage ri immediately mwaki wafati ku generate ni generators ici the generators did not come hau niho thina oke
riu kwina generator
kwina ona hindi ni kwari
chegituka ati ni rangathia muno ati uria kwagiriire
ciari njeru but itieketwo nona change over configuration ndieketwo from then tutikoretwo na such an incident though again we have had quite a stable grid from August
kogo timai ko
from August
tukura tuvuga ati kuroira thitima ikahia airport
hindi ciothe and that is the connection ikyo ngukwirite connection ya mbura na kwaga thitima ikoragwo iri miti tondu hindi ciothe gukiura ni gukona ruhuho ruhuho rugoka honge ikagwa ikagwira mwaki na niho turira andu atiriri handu hatuke tumurengere thitima tumurengere mitiri na ithu twarenga tukurengaga tutaina itheruri reke Kenyans marenge miti
no ndukirute undu wire andu thaici address muno andu mere atiriri Wachira ati ni mukurenga miti iyo na mamenye ndirarengwo tu gwikenia
ni tutirengaga gukenia turarenga miti nigetha tukorwo twina a stable grid na no ngwire angiko we haria uri hena mwaki ugereire hakwi nawe handu hatuke turenge branches na muti hau uriri ndugike jukumu ya gwika
ona no urenge weherie
ini we urenge nigetha urenge riu kuringana uria we urenda
tondu no mugoka
no tuguka
but muka mwarenga tau miti ikoneni handite ni ngurihio
acha tukurihia tutigukurihia tumitaga we leave clearances
ni andu nao makite we leave ine
andu ayo makite we leave na thengi ni kure point yo you know dio ni kitu thaka na danger ugu mundu gwito ndito iyo tadu muntu thaka na danger ugi imagine ugihutia kamwaki ha socket-ini ri uiguaga atia
ona tumenya goria gwathi
neo ni 240 votes
gaka muchi
aka votes 240
gaka single face kara ko kite muchi
ugacoka ukona mundu aka building oni mweki wa 11,000 kilovolts anyita ndo ni incident ya rikayore haha kariba gisaudhiro ni incident yegi ukabatia flat ha hena mwaki wa 11,000 kilovolts agigoga 240 ni gakuguthaga ukaigwa imugutheri ngiri 11 kilovolts
mutikagira tutacio gwaka niki
haya akabatia na riu akenda kuga ni ithu twina mahitia ugakora ungi rĩu ngithie area haha etagwo ati haha Komaroka ubere hanini hau ugithie uguo through Kayole na kuguo ugakora hahe na mwaki wa 220,000 volts line ici ciumite Kiambere
yes
oka mundu akaga structure ugwa line ya transmission line line iyo ikuite mwaki 220,000 volts gaga 240 ni kala kugutha ukaigwa imuguthe 220,000 volts
so not where do meherie miako thini wa
we lift gana wa mikoro hau
hai mundu wajira atiriri good morning uyu tago Shiko kuma kore Kiambo
Kiambo gia kieni ka Kiambo kiriko
kile wauma ndarashari
tugode akwira
kore kwa kwa batoka umeta na hau good morning githire PS gucia koragwo trading agana investment ni kujira kuria koragwo ngari board no mwire na utawira mwega umuririkania haria mairo wa thonyiro wa Sonyiro hiyo ruti ya bwana Gichathi handu hau hatire hagia thitima na andu acio no maranegena muno tondu ni ugiukire ri yanjagaira na ihenyane haha andu a Thonyiro ni meukagiraga thitima
haha
ni wa note
ndandika na niguithia atiriri ungirathikiririe president yaraugaga atiriri Nyeri ndamuhe 847 million shillings ya thitima ile twa flag off na nitukumwongerera 575 million shillings cia another last month niyo dakwire African Development Bank funded riu ha hari ga kamairori tugukarwa na ritho riatha hari riu awamu ya pili tugakarora na ithuothe na hau anjira haria hakuĩ gakanga hau
haria bara mwegucia handu hatiga
na of course ona githingithio nake tukumurorera hau uguo
no githingithio mwire akihurire thimu anjire ni nie ndamuteithia
bas no nginya etikire atiriri we nwe weka atia
niguo twikirie PS hena riri complain imwe tura receive ni imwe tu mundu akorwo ena mwaki wa single phase taihura no geciria gwa kaka cottage kana kiln kana ki kaundu arenda note gwaku ni wa Kenya Power kuona reference number atenderogano ni gwite teto icio
hau no njuge hena gathina if Kenyans no mathumbuka ni undu wa kuheo quotation ya 3 phase hau no nyende nginya kumenya ni office iriku a visited because hali mundu utarate kwira wake seriously
kogo enda kuatire is this a service okwatara okwa quote
yes.
What is the process tarure kejuge ni ndenda riri guthia ndofa gakanga kwa muhiano na ngucokeria ngatho transform yo yandikitwo ritwa riakwa
nde ndukanagirire muno
no kwira gwate no nginya nguhe magago matha havu riria imwe no nde gwate ugakora mundu ena thitima tinde na thitima ena single phase no ni arenda
ku upgrade
digirire ituke industry
yes
na ndai na thina kuriha process ifati ukorwo iriki
afati guthi hare KPLC oko withika for example hena wathika office oko wiruiru hena office iri oko wiru isambu hena office hauro isambu oko rigitengera hena office hau gitengera ya thitima make the application
iyo ni Kenya Power office
Kenya Power immediately edikwerire we are turning Kenya Power into a commercial enterprise. Kenya Power ofati wa apply uguo the following day kufati ukona designer uko on the ground alore abap arike
abatu kitarigana ate
agutarite mundu thiku cigana
igiri
okay moke na savia ma design line na ma cost within 1 week ufati ukona quotation we to date wa ihura ni ura apply the thitima fulani to move to 3 phase cost yaku ni ngirigana rimwe ukariha
wareha kuvati gutekera
wareha another 1 week tufati gukoto gya karaini because we have to enable
and
that is what we are turning KPLC. I'm very passionate about it. In fact, if you ask the MD of KPLC igiona quote mudu ikarete demuragia hii ni nini kwa nini mtu amelipa na hajawekewa why ugimuheo what is the reason you are giving
uko na ugumania ate ino wa Kenya Power totaru ni ukora ni ndo atoma utatu okwari ngeti wagetikira uria makwira ri kugekwo yet you are saying mura convert
we are converting
a public entity into commercial uguo ni gwagweta.
There are two things we are doing and that is hope that it will be a legacy project for us, turning KPLC into a commercial aspect, na two turning KPLC to be customer centric. Gwiciria horo wa customer we nigetha tunyihie ginya issues ya outages. We are investing more in the infrastructure to ensure that customer supply is guaranteed. That way now we even attract more investors to come and address the issue that we know shortage of labor, because that is the other issue that we have as a country. So we have that program. We have very good MD with Dr. Sirol. I can give him but of course gutikiagaga nemakohia no ni gucenjia, because in an organization one of the biggest things to do to change ni kindu gitagwo organizational behavior na culture change.
Okay, culture change.
We need to resist change muno to binadamu. The only thing tuliganagirwo ni ati the only thing that is permanent in this world is change itself.
But change is inevitable.
It is inevitable. No ginya tuikare tugicenjagia kuringana na uria mahinda marekate.
Ibada count muranagia yake ukomokira kumwitira gako
country
nikiyekete
na ni uhoro tutangenda uhanike ringi thiini wa bururi-ini wa Kenya. Tandu ndakiuririe ngikiuria atiri riu tandu county ndina kirihari na ntwari na MOU uria makuriha mathire mao ri twagia thire na KDF ri twamahoreria ri muri ukaga ko bomb Stima Plaza twagia thire na Kenya Power kiria Kenya Police na tukimahorageria ma kuri hari
badhe mahorageria
tumahorageria
ora mukihoreria
ni ma kuri tumahorageria riu urenda kujira
inyo nenyu Kenya Power
the next time riu
twahora wa county kaga muigananie mathire
riu ona thire ucio ri na nigukwira ri riu kaja urenda kundira twahoria vigilance ari ukana tia gas agatuguthanero
nderoto uko tukitaria kaundu kautu niguo ono kiheo gacai no aboi twena PS muthuriti Alex Wachira ni PS Energy inyonire nyamo yaku PS ministry rohogera kwita gwata
State Department for Energy
State Department ya Energy and kuri petroleum
But
mkoragwo muri
ministry mwe ya Ministry of Energy and Petroleum.
Yes.
I take care of the docket for energy. Na PS Mohamed Riban kuma Isiolo, he takes care of the issues of petroleum.
Okay.
Yes.
Maundu madoke maigwa kundu kungi otiga thini wa university ya Kimori tuna muthuriti PS Alex kama Wachira wa kuma kuria mwena wa Arware kuria mwena wa Nyeri tukaba ikiria tugicokereria ciuria no gwetutumire yando ngimarauga atiriri token ni iragia goro muno wekera ga token oro uguo gakabica ni token guokire ati horo wigi token ati ni irathira tu maciaro gare kira ya no na macedoge kira token cia 50 shillings kira ciringi ngiri igathira wekera ngiri ithatu ungirona tene PS ni twaheagwo units nyingi tariu ni ngorora thaa ici no riu ni ta unit ironeka ta iranyiha hihi niki kiragithie na mbere tuikirie tugicokeria kahinda atari haraya.
Whether you're getting ready for the Easter holiday or checking off your shopping list, we've got you covered. Get 2-pack of 2 kg premium wheat flour for 318, down from 344. 2-pack of 2 kg Pishori aromatic rice for 1,018, down from 1,210. 3 liters of cooking oil at 799, down from 1,060. 2-pack of 2 kg sugar, 578, and salt at just 35 shillings. That's a total of 2,748, meaning you will save a whopping 501 shillings. It's easy. Dial *487*5#. Select your Easter package, make your payment, and pick up your basket at any Quick Mart supermarket near you.
Citizen Duke, the home of discount.
Mahale kwathuka warimwe na nwangu mwiraga alo ndetere kawaida
ai tako kwingi tiga ikithie njenga akorwo tikabagara tigotho ni cio hekare
Nikabagara, ngimana samba siende kabagara.
Aria moe ni moe ati kabagara ya ngima na cabaci ni ciehotanĩire.
Ngima ya kabagara mulioma nayo sabati
Cabaci guthakara ngima nayo
Omera sere bila kabagara sio sere.
Nduka-inĩ ndũgetie mũtu etia kabagara.
Unyui wa njohi na uhuthiri wa ndawa cia kurebia ni wongererekete na njira nene muno na ugacũngĩrĩria ndwari nyingĩ kũrĩ andũ aitũ. Muthenya wa kerĩ tarĩki 8 mweri wa kana mwaka ũyũ thinacara cia hwaĩ-inĩ thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ya ũria ndagĩtarĩ nyitanĩra na mũtarani Tabitha Mburu agĩtũtarĩria ikinya gwa ikinya ũhoro wĩgiĩ mogwati ma unyui wa njohi na ndawa cia kurebia. Ndũkahĩtũkwo nĩ ndereti ĩno ya bata ĩrũgamĩrĩirwo nĩ CIC Insurance Group.
hivyo shabiki.com ikuwe part of your wins. Hii 2025 tunaenda kufly even higher. Ukiwekelea, wekelea responsibly. Not for persons under the age of 18. Authorized and regulated by BCLB 671.
Uge waku. Oyo nĩ uge waku.
Uge waku. O muthenya wa mwambĩrĩrio nginya wa gatano ciegera thaa 5 o nginyagia thaa 7 cia mĩaraho tugatambũrũkia marĩa marakunũka matũũra-inĩ megiĩ wonjoria ũrĩmi
Rĩrĩa twatua macani maingĩ tũkerwo atĩ mahang'ĩte Mombasa
ũteti mwathanĩre wa kaunti naguo wa gatano
nĩ ũtũteithagĩrĩria matũũra-inĩ kũmenya ũrĩa kũrahanĩka
mbeũ njĩthĩ makeitũrũra ndereti-inĩ njunge ũũ wega ĩtarĩ gatithio ona kana hangarata
Tũteithĩtie mũno kwĩmenya
horo wa ũrĩmi
uge waku nĩguo uge witũ
amu ota gĩkwa na mũkũngũgũ ithuĩ tũtiuma naguo
tũkwenda inyuĩ andũ ino mũkinyĩre o hau na tabarĩra cianyu
Inooro TV titagũkũ kumagwo
Dial *811*404# to get Jesus Paid It All as your skiza tune.
tugicokereria ngoragwo na generation ino wakimenya muno ikaraga na thank you by both Lincoln Njogu nauga hena mundu wetwo John Mwangi kende muri recognize John Mwangi uga atiriri I like the way the PS is explaining. I now understand some of the dynamics in power supply in our Kenya and famous Adani deal. Na andu maruga atiriri well you are informed at PS at energy ripata mwenyewe.
Thank you.
Ona ni todi kigwetire.
On present hindi ri okire my homecoming ri. Ungirora speech yake ri, augire kaudra kaugu. Akiuga kuna watu upata kazi na kuna kazi napata mwenyewe. Hapa kazi.
By the way umetaka washiro tanoka.
Nida umetaka do Faida Investment Bank. I am a trader of bonds. Treasury bills and bonds.
So umetaka private sector.
A private sector.
So that's knowledge wale hile thino.
Ni. Na ni hodera kudaginya turning around Kenya Power.
Okay.
Profitability. Turning it to a customer centric organization.
By the how watiri haweka. Customer centric ni kugate.
Customer centric ni kugate riri. Twicirio horo wa customer.
Good. Now, mase oyo munene wakwa hahari. Nona ayotaliro wa token. Fluctuation. Unenyo naga twekira ta ngiri 3. Ngona ngari mwe twaheo 90. Ninge igoka 70 yake no igwekira ngiri nimone heo 40 ningena heo 35 woro wigi tariffs icio ri ciukaga te ku affect cost ya tokens
akejuge month on month the token varies depending on the mix we had the previous month ya generation. For example kaidagaka kuraura hidiria kuraura gukorwo na two things that affect the cost of power. Number one is that there is low solar output. Number two, there is also low wind output. Remember that Kenyan, Kenya hari ari daenda kumenya ka kwina solar ka kwina wind. We arenda ukoro na thitima hari akia akore kwina thitima. So we have to compensate that with the diesel generation.
Tere Ũgai hara weteithie.
Tere ndakure weteithie rabai ire ikuria Mobatha Gulf ha deliver Triumph ha deliver Muhoroni gas turbine hari ya Muhoroni Kipevu those are our diesel generators. So hediria kwina low wind output or low solar output and the demand is still high, you have to compensate. Now generate more kina diesel, it is more expensive. So now that pass-through cost affects your next month's power bill.
Teno tatu kata waya ya kuma Ethiopia ikone guthukari.
Waya
nego na thino wa bill yakwa.
Like now last month. Last month it was actually very tough for us. Like for close 1 week.
Yes.
kuria Samburu na ni wega tugakona kiria ndikane ngona mbica haha kuria Samburu ri mundu ugwitwo young boys line iri umite Ethiopia iri glass insulators nyitete line ugu ihe hari igithaka ri irathaka ikagutha ki those glasses so they play they are playing with the glass and the competition no kuraga tuye tuingi so in the process now ukiuraga ri ukanyihia insulation line ika drop so we found like 4 hours line ika drop by the time we could restore it took us 1 week meanwhile it means hoine every day we are losing 200 megawatts that comes from Ethiopia
na kutikona na officers are intelligence na
you see
na thirikari nyumba 10
leo niho turarehire andu acio tondu nginya we had to overfly the line
mumitwara iguru bio
ku overfly na ndege
okay
nigetha to find out fault ino yokira tondu twarie na Ethiopia ri matweithie mwena witu ni mwega tukimera kiambiririe it is a line that covers 1100 kilometers magana mana me mwena wa Ethiopia magana mugwanja me mwena wa witu so we had to overfly from Suswa tugikora hare Samburu hari ihe irathaka na ki now to restore that line it took us a week in the process of restoring every day we import 200 megawatts from Ethiopia that 200 megawatts had to be compensated by someone
okay
and that is diesel generated so it means this month's bill is slightly higher
no kwenda riri itanoka hari tokento ni gwenda ono tariria ndo itu no na university na kwena ndo
na hena mundu anyandikira ito munene wa Gacanja ajira signal ya ko hari ya Kafaru a little bit low
ito
inoro ni message
engineer Moses Karanja na kere leo na waga horo iki service
customer centric
leo na gitoko to customer centric engineer Moses na Lincoln mukire andu akura Kafaru matikauge
matino na show matino thoma
handu maruga atiriri ati thirikari ya Nyayo tano umare hari mundu ciukire iki install generators shina concessions ya 30 years ate na generator ici ate ona ria cigitoro no ire hagwo ona tayo wagweta hihi ona haria gwate kwa wetire na kuria kungi is it true ate no mu mari haga ona matara generate power ate ona mungi mari tayo mungi agamo ne twena mwaki muiganu ri ate no mu mari haga
good it's a very good question na umani ate ni kwari there was remember 1987 after the prolonged drought we had serious power outages.
Yes.
We went to power rationing. Ugiririkana hindi yo. Twena power rationing, twaheagwo yandikagwo ngathiti-ini umuthi mutigũkorwo na thitima kundu fulani. A neighboring country go Canada, they are doing the same. Now, those concessions in this year, they elapsed around 2015. Ndagutarira ndakwandikira the current diesel generators that are there. Tutigetie, we had Kipevu 1 and Kipevu 2. Kipevu 1 was owned by Kengen. Kipevu 2 was owned by Aga Khan, near to Savo. Kipevu 3 is owned by Kengen. You need that to see here, my brother. Yeah, Kana, na isi siya berigiri dakura, the concessions are lapsed. They are no longer generating. We have Rabai Power in Coast. That is the only private concession. Now, Rabai Power came in at the same time with Gulf in Athi River, Triumph in the Athi River, and Thika Power in Athi River. Those concessions are 2035. Siasa iniro hedi ya kifake igiako. They started generating in 2015.
Ni kwa conversation ya to retire them mukimari he.
We may not be able to because it is too costly to retire them. That is one. Two, they'll also affect our credit rating internationally. Why? Because the financiers of these power plants are IFCs, World Banks, AFDs. Na no muradi uko
otaishi murakoba na
yes. So you cannot be able to touch them. Lake Turkana is financed now by BlackRock, Korea, America. So they are international financiers who are behind these generators.
Piesto do ego kore. Kigeri kutariria mase. February akeheo 39 tokens.
Feb 39.
mweri wa gatatu ri no for 1000 February ni ngiri ciringi ngiri imwe aka 39 tokens mweri wa gatatu ri o ngiri iyo ri akiheo 35 tokens and others na maundu matikane riu ri akoria why gwiciria niyo gutaragiria
ndakwira atiriri idipendaga na generation mix ya mweri ucio
so month
on month yes and you see the variance is not much 35 39 34 riu ni gukora ta riu tugikinya mweri wa July ri ni gukora riu ni agucoka around 39 tondu riu wind output ni gukoya ongerereka so that means less of this generation so you get more tokens dinakiuga Kenyans matikende hindi ile kwina mbura because hindi ile kwina mbura ndakwira weed ndikoragwo ruhuo rukoragwo rwikuo
rumete ndiragwa
na
ninge generation
na solar ri ndiriho thaici ungirora nja githuti na matu so solar output is off mwaki no turahuthira so then otamutugo na ndurenda kumenya ka kwina solar ka kwina wind we urenda mwaki ukorwo naguo so we have to compensate these two with the diesel generation
riu ri iyo no atutariria wega riu reke nguka kiriri the details iria mwereka gutwehereria ndakoragwo na cio tukamuthomera now tajira tiriri PS Wachira masiri ni aheo ngiri worth of tokens amount is 1000 token amount akaheo 658 shillings 0.98 no other charges 341 shillings na thedi igiri matururu giri ugikuruka uguo no igwa riu aheo kugu aheo worth of token amount shiringi 358 no ni ngiri imwe ono ngika ikuruka uko no gukorwo kiona otaguo ngiri units akaheo 35.2 worth of token 671 other charges ri 328 atiriri mundu 328 ni do
hena VAT
16%
hena forex adjustment costs hena fuel energy costs na chichi make other costs forex adjustment costs ni kugatiriri leito
tatariria tondu hau
na ni hongwiriria atiriri one of the things that his excellency the president has done for this country ni go stabilize currency tadu manya PPAs ici twina ciori all of them most iginya cia Kenyan they are on foreign denomination na ni hogwiriria we have to deepen our pockets as a country negether future power plants to be built with Kenya shillings that way now ni tukota kugia PPAs that are Kenya shilling denominated higher dakwira hari kindu gitagwo month on month varies the fuel energy costs because the krogo is standard fuel energy hari mweri igukoeriri hari mweri will generate more power with the diesel the same thing with forex adjustment so and then umenyeshi kindu gitagwo VAT is a component 16% is a subject of all this so it varies agiko cost is ere iguru ri no go VAT egothi iguru so that those are the things that make now these other costs yes
no na communication yanyu mume kana mugaturi
nitukwira muingi yes nitukwira muingi nitukwira ginya MD witu wa KPLC ahote guka guko uguo nigetha akahote gutariria more Kenyans
umune twamutaithia muno kumuhera muko riu ri kwina andu maratwandikira na ndiraforwardire this message kuri mubunge Eric wa Mombi wa kuria Mathira Mathira constituency gushira one nguforwardira mundu waku maruga list of households not connected with electricity power ni Kiahongo village na hari na list ya kindu andu aka 51 tatika dute message ndo andu ane matwandikite Kagotha in the Gig sub county area in ward na kuratuka atiriri tondu transformer kuraya na magacoka tukate na ma connectito no getuika it was illegal connection
we are trying to regularize all those illegal connections yes nego koreto na several illegal connections na hau nego tuma engineer witu wa rural electrification and renewable energy corporation engineer wetagwo Nyamai athi arore handu hau na nigetha to design scheme
okay
tumiethere mbia nigetha in the next financial budget mwaka uyu alone turekira thitima was 16 billion with REREC.
Okay.
So in the next financial year ni tukugeria tuone those matura macio wagweta ginya ku ndakugwirie gweta mukuringano-ini kabendera kuria guthi. We have several areas irari kwa thitima tukugeria gutigira ntweka ati ni twacikaba
harä maruga atiriri mwagwire na kuremwo kwamurania gatagati-inä ka Adani airport no horo igi energy no atä andå anga matigä korwo mena thä na tondå no hatarä ria twakorwo hi Adani no ke teithä rä na andå maiguithio rä thä na nä kä gå cokia Adani na ndirake marä rä ria no kå ringana na ndanyita ndå tondå andå marathiĩ magĩtheragä rwo hangĩkorwo hena mahĩtia marĩkũ ĩ tondũ rĩu no hatarä ria rĩ na mũno andũ arĩa makĩrĩ na kandĩrĩ na inegene marĩ akĩrĩma ĩkwĩrwo horo ĩgiĩ ũici ndũkuona tu ta mũthuri ũcio ngĩgĩkĩarĩrio arĩ mũhĩndĩ
and he has the world's biggest solar plant in India.
Why not?
He's running in India na Google. Do Kenyans ni adome internet. Like ma Google transmission system ya Adani in India. Mone kilomita ili Adani araran in India. Share transmission.
Oguriota Alex. No uge ashoke ute wirore wageri.
My answer is yes today. It was yesterday and it will be yes tomorrow. We need Adani. Na ihenya. Na ti Adani ya wiki. Teru hena line tureda gwaka. We another line transmission line.
Yes.
Kuma hadu heta Githabo. Area Muranga. Irio thaya. We extended a substation in Nyeri inyiti then na Kigajo. Because already the line between Masinga to Nanyuki is almost overloaded. Actually, it has a capacity of carrying 80 megawatts. Haria area ya Kirinyaga and give it to them. Haria area ya Kirinyaga combination ya mundu gwituo Raha Premium, Spencer, Nice, and some other industries. Ni maragushi almost 35 megawatts. Those companies I've mentioned.
No, power outages we
are trying to ensure we stabilize. No, na maragushi mwaki ore uroka nginya Kiria. So that line is almost over. So we need to build another line kuma Githabo, yoke Othaya, Nyeri, yoke Kigajo. We need to do a line between Meru and Maua. We need to do another line between Kisumu, Langala, Korea waziri ya wako umetere, kuna serious power instability. Ebi hado etago Musaga. Maua, we are doing a substation worth 1.2 billion. But we still need to do a line between Meru and Maua. We need to do a substation in Tharaka. Korea DP umete kogo kona the muno wa thitima because they have a line karaini kanini gatha 3 kV gathite kilomita magana matandatu kena transformers magana mana riu turaka horete ugu. So we need a lot of infrastructure projects here, transmission lines. So we have to bring on board private capital. The Kenyans care to get and I agree with you in retrospect. Probably Kenyans to get kumuonithia meherie the issue ya airport na transmission lines. Adani atigu agiaka transmission lines no airport yeherere na tando ithuĩ nĩ twasainĩte project agreement ithuĩ tũrĩ energy. Maybe we needed to proceed with that airport. Of course, yes. In fact, kedu million magana matatu ini ugu almost magana mana because they had designed the projects. They had even acquired wayleave in some areas. Omenya makaga ini icio ndakugwetera na ni makaga substation extension ya egeta guthuo Diboro ikuria Githumu na extension ya Rongai substation. Other than those 3 lines marina Kiringi and they were ready, they needed to move na maina capital adwacio.
Take tukiuga tere niguo twikirie ngo ndirero. So eke tukihe ona Adani ti mwega. O ti mwega. No kwina Kenyan investor wena capacity ya gwika ugu Adani aka.
At the moment no.
Kogu ona twaigata Adani. No guguka Adani ungi.
At the moment no. Because even the other transmission we are trying to do under PPP, it is being done by a group called Africa 50. Africa 50 is owned by African government, including Kenya, and Power Grid of India. Power Grid ni Ketraco ya Kenya. Now the Power Grid of India makanyitana na Africa 50 nio maratwakira raini igiri imwe etagwo Lesos to Lesuk and Kisumu Kakamega Musaga line. Line cigana? Igiri. So we still need to bring on board more private capital. Mundu ina maso okay. Ategwikati.
Niguo tutirie tondu gukina broad based government iri.
Yes.
Baba makire na president iri. Rigo na aria manegenaga niwe minister waku ri. Ndukuno ndu tofati ku reintroduce again in parliament. For the sake ya guteithiriria tondu ndona aka niguo kufatara investors ingi niguo no hote kugania uguragweta region ta icio inyanya tukugira taguo ndaigurageria kuga wakorwo nta province ta iria ati gukorwo thitima ri ndigakorwo ti Kenya irahora yothe aikorwo kwina region imwe iragwa kuria kungi wakorwo kwina thitima.
Our aim mundu gwitwo ndeitwo ihura ni ku ensure we have minimal power outages, and I want to give it to the measures we have done with Ketraco. Now our engineers mari national control centers neuria ndakwira kuma August tutikoretwo twina outage is an achievement no reke nyanzi mata go celebrate
na nyumu ka kwaria horo ucio
tukakwaria tandu ndwenda kwihura githuru gwendaga reke wira warie reke njuge with AFD ni turaka a new national control center. Remember control center area twina yori yakilon President Moi, so is a little bit outdated. We are building a modern one. Irako haha haduteta kaemba kasi ni oturaka a huge one. Ego koere control center eko taginya kuran now the regional, because we are moving as next week I'll be in Uganda. Turenya mutitaga Eastern African Power Pool. We want to have even an energy market where countries can be able to trade excess power with each other.
Okay.
Now that control center is going to help us to be the market operator of the region.
Na muguraga na no tukuraga
power kuma Uganda, turagura mwaki kuma Ethiopia, na ginya hoi ntugura kuma Tanzania. We are net importer of power.
Korea kwa Suruhu.
Yes, we are net importer of power. We don't know, contrary to what Kenyans believe that we have excess power, we don't. And that is why we are working very fast. We work hard with the National Assembly. Negada malist to moratorium.
Okay.
We build more power plants.
Kogo nakoro twashenjiri SGR no ya dithoro ikoro area bullet area thitima tutingihota. Do you have power igan?
If we look at what the neighbors have, our neighbors have, then we do have power. Remember, SDR hedio ekaguguori nitwa hopaga ntoko move we had a dream of moving to 5,000 megawatts of generation. We are still at 3,000.
Okay.
So we need to build more power plants negada to make convert ituke egotumira thitima. No ririkane nituga ntugwaka nuclear power plant kuria Kwale. Tuoka nuclear power plant kuria Kilifi. Though there are still activists who believe that we don't need nuclear power.
Okay.
But if you look at the stability of nuclear power and the price of nuclear power, I think we need to move to that direction.
Future nuclear power.
We need to have. No Kenya twina base load itago geothermal.
Yo twina guku Naivasha.
Naivasha. Na Menengai. Na leo ni twathondekire we have about 97 megawatts worth of steam in Paka. And we are hoping that we can start generating by 2028. So the rift is going to give us adequate generation in terms of geothermal. We still have not built the High Grand Force Dam.
Okay.
Tanya with the British GBM through a PPP again project. Nima tukwata gwaka the High Grand Force Dam. Tugiota gwaka High Grand Force Dam nego tuhekedo tuitaga peaking power. We want it to have a base load of 200 megawatts. No ikorwa ati huaini tukifatara hetadu niyo tufataraga a lot of power. We can be able to push it to 600 megawatts. So that is the aspiration.
Okay.
Then we have Karura Dam that is still not yet built. We have Marsabit Wind, Irakoni Nikenjen. We have Isiolo Solar, Hado Hetago Isiolo. Kipeto, Nimareda Gwaka, another 100 megawatts here wind. So to enough energy projects lined up for generation, but we still need to bring more on board the countries East African Power Pool. And the reason is we when we sit now, because when we sit as a region, the late Prime Minister wa Ethiopia, there is something that he did to the Ethiopians, and up to today, just when you meet an Ethiopian, their Grand Renaissance Dam. Meleze now he rallied the entire country. Make damu. That dam, after building it, they are able to generate 5,500 megawatts. That is why now today Ethiopia near to the 200 megawatts. By next year, to the 400 megawatts. Nirari and Tanzania, they have signed 100 megawatts. They are talking to Zambia. They are signing another 100 megawatts. So they want to be. They are selling to Sudan. They are selling to South Sudan.
As we are net importer of power.
As we are net importers of power. Now, what am I saying in regard to Meles Zenawi? Meles Zenawi rallied the entire country, and the country people were taxed.
Yes.
Negative market because World Bank ni aregire ku finance kwaka kwa damu yo. International finance ni maregire. No menye ni arehire bara between Ethiopia na
Eritrea
na Egypt.
Oh,
Egypt do idea daga roiro kehuti. No, now Meles rallied the country, and the people agreed to the clarion call Meles and I was doing. Today they are reaping the benefit. It is the same thing that I would urge Kenyans. Ogoda Mutari Diohorowa, PPP and Adani projects. Let us rally because those are the things that are going to help this country.
Thank you, Matondero. Tukaboikiria tukishokeria kaida kare onania ngagucia no ndanyita na ngatiwega higweteaga mai hamwe na mwana na ki uhoro igi Adani na muno Wachira andu marauga muno guko kirima tonona industry ciambiriria gutonya na kuria matura-ine utigirira makino wako we stable matura-ine yanageria kayo tukoba wikiria tugicokeria kahinda gatari haraya twi na PS Alex Wachira newe PS kuria energy munene waku etagwo
Upio Wandai
ate is an expert twe ni go tukirwo ni ODM nio marehire ate experts tuikirie tukicokereria ikarikari turia mwisho kahinda gatari haraya.
Whether you're getting ready for the Easter holiday or checking off your shopping list, we've got you covered. Get 2-pack of 2 kg premium wheat flour for 318, down from 344. 2-pack of 2 kg Pishori aromatic rice for 1,018, down from 1,210. 3 liters of cooking oil at 799, down from 1,060. 2-pack of 2 kg sugar, 578, and salt at just 35 shillings. That's a total of 2,748, meaning you will save a whopping 501 shillings. It's easy. Dial *487*5#. Select your Easter package, make your payment, and pick up your basket at any Quick Mart supermarket near you.
Citizen Duke on the home of discount.
Ni urenda kugita nyumba yaku na mabati ma gutura na ma uthaka wa kiriu horera riu tondu kambuni igatu ya Ruiru Mabati Factory Limited iria yoikaine na wendia nguthi wa mabati ma gikiro kia iguru maria metiragia mbura nene na riua rihio twi haha ni undu waku endia itu ni mohigeire wira-ini wao koguo ni magutaraga na magakwenderia kuringana na muigana kana muhiano wa nyumba yaku ukahuthia wira na ukahonokia mbeca wicagurire kuma kwi mithemba ngurani ta Jenga Tile, Europe Tile, Box Profile na mangi maingi oho ni monekaga na marangi ngurani na tugakurehera nginya o gwaku murango-ini gwa kahinda ka mathaa 24 tu tucerere Ruiru Town kana utuhurire thimu namba 0111 050 700. Ruiru Mabati Factory, mali safi kwa bei poa.
Shri Jaini Youth League ni marakunyita ugeni hari kambi ya urigitani utari marihi wa mwaka uyu. Arigitani mekuranire kuma bururi wa India magakorwo makiheana utungata wa tuhu magithurima maitho, matu, manioro hamwe na mumero. Kiumia tariki 3 mweri uyu wa kana thukuru-ini wa muthingi wa Matiani DEB kaunti-ini ya Kitui na wa muthingi wa Dandora kaunti-ini ya Nairobi. Naguo urigitani munene ugatabanio kwambiriria tariki 7 nginya tariki 12 mweri uyu thukuru-ini wa airetu wa Chania Thika kurigania na thibitari wa Naidu kuri aria magakorwo makũrĩkanĩte thutha wa gũthũrimwo makarigitwo hatarĩ marĩhi. Shafri Eye and ENT Camp ũrũgamĩrĩirwo nĩ Shri Jain Youth League ũnyitanĩri-inĩ na Inoro TV hamwe na Inoro FM.
Sorry yawe katia. Urenda tikiatia na sorry yaku.
Ndagũthaitha we no uinũke handũ ha gũtinda haho kĩnegena. Thiĩ.
Nĩguo, nĩ wega ũguo. Tondũ gũkũ gwitũ ũndũ ũmwe ũthiraga. Icanjama ikambia.
Rĩu gathĩna wa famĩlĩ yaku nĩ icanjama.
We rĩu ndĩrona mau nĩ mahĩtia. We no atũrehera thĩna ningĩ Anupama.
With the WRC Safari Rally 2025, Revisha and feel the roar.
Let's go to Vietnam. Join View Travel's group trip from September 5th to 12th, 2025. Starting from $2,286 per person sharing, experience a 7-night stay with breakfast, overnight cruise on Ha Long Bay, Golden Ridge Walk and Bana Hills cable car, Mekong Delta and boat cruise, explore ancient cities, caves and temples, traditional basket boat ride, Bentan market shopping. Secure your spots today. Visit viewtravel.com or call and WhatsApp 0703 254 254. View Travel. Dream. Explore. Discover.
Nĩ mĩaka 10 rĩu. Mĩaka ĩno 10 kahinda-inĩ gaka gothe rĩu tũhanĩte atĩ niĩ nawe gĩthomo kĩa ũgima mwega wa mwĩrĩ tũtingiuga atĩ nĩ kĩgeni na ithuĩ.
The later you wait, mũrimũ ũrĩa ũracererwo o ũrĩa ũreterera nĩguo mwĩrĩ ũratuĩka weak.
Tũkahoya rũtha kũrĩ mathibitarĩ oro ũndũ ũmwe na marĩgĩtarĩ arĩa araita itũ na tabarĩra ĩno nĩgetha tũingĩre tuonio macini ta ici iria ihũthĩkaga thĩinĩ wa thieta hĩndĩ ĩrĩa ũrathĩnjwo ũkamenya gũthiaga na mbere atĩa.
Mũtumia onagĩa kana onangĩaga kũinũka na kana kau mũciĩ nĩ andĩkagĩrwo clinic after 2 weeks na after 4 weeks.
Macio mothe nĩ thĩinĩ wa tabarĩra ĩno wendete. Niĩ Wambui wa Muturi oro ũndũ ũmwe na marĩgĩtarĩ matiganĩte marĩa nĩ specialist na timu yothe ya ndagĩtarĩ tũkaga gũkuonia atĩrĩrĩ nĩkĩ kĩu kĩhũthĩkaga hĩndĩ ĩrĩa we ũrarigitwo mĩrimũ ĩtiganĩte nĩgetha ũgĩe na ũgima mwega wa mwĩrĩ ũrĩa tugaga nĩ kĩrathimo.
Ene tugicokereria ikereka tanjira terere PSE tugithii tato uthi gutiriha wari no arugamaga kene ngucokie na muci still within no private sector wacoka ukaheo wira ate kazi ate kuna wakati kazi inapata mwenyewe kana mwenyewe anapata kazi
kuna wakati kazi inapata mtu na kuna wakati kazi inapata mwenyewe. Hii kazi imepata mwenyewe.
Tajira terere andu itu nonaga maki understand thirikari niki togu tu ni president ni acera ito andu mena maoigui na ndaikara ngimaririkanagia terere haha githu no mweri 10 wenana 2027 na toinyu mugaikia kura
acha
ni Kenya IBC ikanarira muthenya umwe andu mathure andu riuri when the president odrona gatari kindu around 140 billion whether kana project ya Uhuru ri data arare ndoni taroka kindu 140 billion shillings well ukirithini wa thirikari ni juwe na accurate figures the president egucera katogwa andu ana ikuru na gikuyu kira gakita muhurunju kometeria president macemania nake kuria saga guciria etagwata Nakuru state lodge ichera president ndiro igiri ate kuria andu akirima ito we uri thini wa thirikari.
Number one, I am looking at probably what I have been able to do and influence within the 2 years.
As a PS?
As a PS. And I can measure. It is huge impact. And I would already know how we arrived at even the transmission lines.
Yes.
Because I was there. Probably if it was someone who was somewhere else, he would have preferred other lines. So, I am a firm believer that we cannot be out of government. We cannot afford to be out of government. We did it the 12 years, the last 12 years of Moi. We cannot afford. As a matter of fact, ndiathikagiria andu ngi maraikarite hau githe ndikina waziri wa kire wa ODM haigo majira ithuĩ tutirauma thirikari tutuire turuite tuingire ithuĩ tutirauma thirikari
tukiraga thufuria betwe
turathie nake turathiũrũrũka nake ta turagithiũrũkire nake
hindi no president yarariku kirema
wewe mwisho waziri akijia ati na sasa nyinyi hizi barabara naona mko na lami na nini nyingine hii watu wenu wanataka hii kelele yote wanafaa atembee Nyanza ndio wajue ndio wa appreciate what you have na hivyo niguo Wachira
ucio ni minister
Wachira ati ajira ni athiũrũrũka kirima
compare
kwao arigwa ndo maranegena tondu matiri appreciate na niwe mugi kwa ugiri ati yaga na goya irie ekate yakua we don't want to get there. I am a firm believer that we need to be in the next government. We need to support President William Ruto because he means well for this country despite the noise. He means very well for this country.
Tondu niwe munene waku ri introduce us Ruto the person. President ri ni mundu ohana atia hari murutira wa wira.
One ni mundu wendaga delivery ya naihenya
ataguta wira na kiguta
ngiruta wira na kiguta. He hates lazy people na ni mundu ukomaga late na agokira very early.
Tauna kuhurira thimu thaa thita cia utuku
koni last week ni ko thimu yako no irehe cause miss cause ya last week ri I got a miss call at 11:59
atata
PM
no vati ukorwo na answer
na dia hotire ta to dako makidu 11 riu ndamucokeirie 6:30 na ari on AM
ni vati ukorwo na answer area arenda.
Yes na hari utari na answer
kwa nioi gukira ministry yako
riu ndo amuteithia na ni atwira kaingi na now for me I have to have all my data at my fingertips that any one particular point no me riu ni hindi ciothe agethi handu okone kanitha no nginya ajitie data ya county yorathi. In fact ona my wife no ojira ona sade kiroko ajira ni wari tina munene waku nturarithie nake ira ajira sawa turarithie nake hwai no nginya njuri tondu rucini rwa sade agithi kanitha no nginya njire thitima ndirathie Busia thitima ya Busia tu nguga atia ngamwira your excellency tubangite kina na no umaririe horo ucio but now Kenyans maigua kiaria makona ni story. He has the numbers and then now the other unfortunate thing ni ati Kenyans might expect naunzi taru Nyandarua auga tuina 1.58 billion shillings my expect implementation rules.
So president announce you today process ifati kukurwe hanate
umenye hena procurement process na procurement process ya huko witu ne editu. I have seen a tender being cancelled or being delayed tadu dito ihorani ya igoti-ini auga mutika award tadu dana shida igoti ona berere thikiririe turawandaga niki ikamba ikaheana injunction kauga mutika arute wira ucio when we came
hadhara muno hari process ya thirikari.
Let me remind you, which is a fact. When we came in 2022, the only day took the PS December 3rd, 2022. Kuna crisis ne muno ya meters and transformers. Nene Bũrũri-inĩ ya reto no is a contractor, supplier. Adi got in here mutiko award. We had to work on an out of court settlement. Negeda to unlock that deadlock. Negeda to meet Kenyans. There was an outcry.
Kenyans yoko.
It took us actually in the crisis because they had in a backlog ya mwaka mugima wa meters mutako install na mura accelerate last mile. It has taken us up to this year. And abado we still have about 60,000 meters that we still need to connect. Project to reketi na retro meter.
Emuro jira kwati arehete transformers booth.
Transformer iria nyingire. We are now doing most of our transformers as local manufacturers. Most of our transformers are local manufactured. Other than the bigger transformers, Kuma 600 kVA Kwabata, those ones were importing. But 315, 200 kVA, 100 kVA, 50, 25, 15, we are local manufacturing, most of them.
If President is re-elected to 2032,
yes.
Kenya gikinya.
One, nodwa oria tutindikite last mile. I'm foreseeing us get to close to 100% connectivity by 2030. That is on last mile. On transmission, we are likely to push our transmission rate to about 15,000 kilometers from the current 10,000. Remember, we have a goal of getting to 20,000 by the year 2040. No need on Togo tengeria makeria. We have seen power demand. Need on power demand in on Bũrũri-inĩ. Gigitweka PS, our peak demand yare 2,129 megawatts. As at now, we are at 2,316 megawatts. Serious about demand. Despite the noise, area na mbere ukigua andu makiuga economy ndirakura na ki. Nie ndirona power demand. And I can tell you, by the time I'm coming back here next month, from 2,316, we might be in 2,324 or 2,400.
Performance contract is musainagare. Ugura perform no alage PSS
na baigire. State Department ya Energy naba. It is in the public domain, dorore. Niguo kuri.
Nuka tuka governor wa Nyeri.
Riu ri kio ni kioria very tricky. Because one
Ndoda kuri ugo neke. Todo ndo maranyari kwa kugata twire todo oge uchi utubona nationally. Ati uchokie mushi. Isi gatire kenge kurie. Matakagwa dinamoneria.
For me, and I want to serve the people of Nyeri as I serve the bigger nation. Right now, I am looking at the interest of 47 counties. So generator ira fail Madera. Ni wira wakwa. Lunga ni wira wakwa. Lodwa, we are doing a line from Lokichar to Lodwa at a cost of 900 million shillings. As a matter of fact, Rosine Gwirete MD wa KPS sidamwira hiyo line isione kama inajengwa na ile pace
nataka.
Because we need to accelerate and shut off the these generators in Lodwa. It will affect your bill. Mandera, we want to put up a mini grid, a hybrid. Wajia, we want to put up a high. No, you represent adi Wajia. Auga 2.6 billion from AFD. Ya waka hybrid. Negeda to horie the diesel generators. They will affect your power bill.
Okay.
My vision ni tugihota goika ikara haha na president. If the good people of Kenya will re-elect him, I have more impact in the national government and a lot of things that we are doing in the mountain than being governor of Nyeri.
Okay.
But should the opportunity arise at maybe a later date?
Okay.
The game
but not daishi no igana ile PSY energy.
The PSY energy. Twakira 27 president yake kae federal, it is okay.
Okay. Hena kidu kiretwa energy transition.
Yes.
Oro igi clean energy.
Yes.
Fururi witu wiharirie ko. Ne wagura COP47 ukaraginya summit ira irathie na mbere maroka igwa ehe fossil fuel aga mafuri mara mathite na mbere ne marambiria gucoka ehe ithu ne tukurihwo aga carbon credit ukakora kiundu kiu thini wa global stage clean energy ituya.
We are at the forefront of clean energy. Remember that we are one of the few countries in the world that has about 91% composition of the power in the grid that is green. And not only green, it is renewable.
Renewable energy.
Renewable energy. Because geothermal is renewable energy.
Adomrajira githugu ni kaigeha.
Uririkane renewable energy ni ekiria geothermal ni green renewable energy. Hydro ni green renewable energy. Wind twineo ni green renewable energy na solar. Na reu ni tureka kaundu hena because we have seen ni tuonete utuko bururi witu wa Kenya ni mwega muno. Utuko kuma 10 andu mathie toro. Wonaga demand ya power ikuruka. niyo rida tunyamwire twitaga venting of geothermal in all carrier ni tureka kindu gitagwo battery energy storage of 100 megawatts
okay
nigetha tunyihie generation ya fossil fuel from the diesel generators our goal ni go transmit go share to green by 2030 because the only PPAs that will be left with are about 4 ilika expire 2034 cia diesel na cio ngwirire ni mundu gwitura Bai Triumph Gulf and Thika Power Kinya ici ingĩ ciothe igũkorwo lapsed cia diesel generation
okay
so we just have a component of those 4 and the diesel off grid generators iria spread across the country no tunini
okay
but we don't have a huge task. What now we have a huge task is what we call sustainable aviation fuel because now that's another fuel that we need to put in place in JKIA such that in fact there are airlines irauga by 2028 ni turenda mukona sustainable aviation fuel and that will mean very well for our farmers aria makoria cotton cake makoria croton makoria bariki because we want to encourage private farmers farm those products together to get now into the space of sustainable aviation fuel remember Nairobi is a hub for transport of air we are competing with Bole in Addis and Cape Town. So we need sustainable aviation fuel in JKIA. Together international airlines itigaye go fly into JKIA sugar kigwatia tu nake. Yes.
Niko gwetete niguo tuko tukitira niko gwetete horo ige nuclear power. Ko the future ya nuclear power.
The future of nuclear power.
To kweli daigwetete kwale na a concession ya duka ya summit kale ya consortium ya nuclear power.
We also have a conference in August we are hosting on nuclear power. Nuclear power base load. Working a nuclear fuel in one of the plants. That nuclear fuel ne banaga for 2 years. So it's a very stable base load that can help us industrialize as a country. So we should know in a harinya mutuitaga least cost power development plan. Niyo tufaga nayo which generation to come into place by which year. Now in that least cost power development plan also nerinya mutuitaga transmission lines. Which transmission line do you build at this particular time? Remember we are lagging behind in terms of transmission. Tadu miaka ya Moi especially no ya Moi Shori. When he lacked in international financing, he did not build transmission lines. Actually, transmission lines around 2008. So we are still lagging behind. So we have a lot that we need to do as energy, because energy is a driver to the country.
Thank you muno. Nijue adu amwe no roge a radio no ndego gwita utuko umwe. Twaragia maundu mari tutaraingatwo ne masi. Ne igaraga hihi tu kurikiwa ka umuco kuri Gikuyu tugitiria.
Ne akinyite hadu hari bururi witu wa Gikuyu no ginya twite kamucimanio. Twite kamucimanio turore bururi urathie ndetwere urathi mwena uriku. Na tumenye atiriri ne hari yagute na ne hari yaguikia ikombe. Hari yagote yagoike ikombe na tumenyerere tutikeige twigacio kanini gaguthiurukirio ni andu aria thi tukoto yo opposition gaciko kanini muno.
Asante.
Turore muno na tuike mathabu very keenly tukimenyaga atiriri andu aya angi no manyitane na mekete Moi athanire bururi yo for 24 years atari na ithu. I don't think we want to go there. Let us be part of the pie. Let us be there in the decision making. And let me finish by saying this. Mudogo twende itwa ayihura tadu no ajuria kiuria kiu. PS wa farafara. Mudogo itago Joseph Bogu.
Wanyadaro kana
Wanyadaro. PS wa energy mudogo itago Alex
Wachira
Wanyere. PS wa defense mudogo itago Mariro.
Laikipia.
Wa Laikipia.
Kimotho.
Kimotho ne PS wa irrigation. Hamwe minister wa ICT itago Kafogo. Minister wa trade itago mudogo etoli Kenyaju. Minister wa agriculture itago Mutai waka. Minister wa tourism itago Rebecca Miano. Minister wa mai etagwo Eric Mureithi kuma kuria Meru.
Okay.
The incoming minister wa public service etagwo Roko. Mundu ria promoted atuike deputy chief of staff and head of public service. My former colleague kadaitwa ya kuma haki hapo. Now andu acio datara
na Mary Muthoni wa health.
Na Mary Muthoni wa health.
Thank you.
Datara minister mugwanja. Na gikuyu no kirero gitire thirikari-ini. Deitwa ihura ni tutare ministers a Kalenjin. Let us count with yourself here. Neigana. Vis-a-vis the 7 that we have.
Atatoka matara next time.
It is mundu ugwitwo Davis Chichir omwe. Wa keri mundu ugwitwo Kipchumba Murkomen wa keri. Wa gatatu ni mutumia orano minister the wife wa former senator of Baringo. Wa kaigana. Wa gatatu. Meanwhile hei wa kana wa gatano wa gatandatu. Meanwhile munene wa jeshi Muikuyu.
Kareri.
Munene wa borithi Muikuyu. No ikuyu kirero gitire thirikari.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Uchetagwo PS Alex Kamau Wachira. Ona ndagitari Karugu.
Karo.
Karo.
Ndagi ukari wa EAC.
Aya. Thimo 13 mwathani ndangireka mundu muthingu ahote. Indi uria mwaganu ndari kindu angiona. Mugana muthenya mwega na ugiconya thiini wa YouTube gucia ni kuona miario no the thiini wa social platforms citu. Kwa ina ningi no tukorwo twina maundu mangi mega thiini wa radio ya Inoro utuku tabarira ya kera kuma thaa 4 nginya thaa 6. Muthenya wa rucio turi haha o tugithie na mbere uhoro wige mainie na ukohige na ku entertain
mugambo wa moico.
Thank you muno.
Thank you muno. Mundu ugwitwo Ndeitwa Ihura. Na nguririkanie ngwire atiriri gikuyu kirore kindu gitagwo history.
Okay.
Let us learn from history.
Okay.
Between 1960 and 1966, what happened a few years last year happened in 1966. Jomo Makimena now.
Okay.
Na Jaramogi.
Asante.
2005 Mwai wa Kibaki na Raila Odinga. History repeats itself. Dare kiashira wako.
Mugena muthenya mwega o toguo twakiuga auma PS Alex Kamau Wachira no akigua rated number 2 hari uhoro-igi performance contracting. Mugena muthenya mwega riu mase oya mitambo yaku thini wa studio na sora muno no wa ucerera nda apologize ndigakiandikira mugena muthenya mwega nithio twathi
thank you.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much. Eni